Page 105. More Pretty Girls Than One. This is the first part of it, and the next part is on the next page. We'll get to that later. For now, we're talking about page 105. And there are three potential trouble spots on this page. Things that you may not have seen before. Other than that, most of it is stuff you know. So before I play through it, I'll show you a few potential trouble spots for you. The first one occurs in measure 6. It is a lick against a C chord, and the way this lick works is you pick your 5th string open, you do a quick slide with your middle finger from 4th to 5th frets on the 2nd string, add your ring finger after the slide. Now for the last 4 notes of the measure, you just keep those 5th frets in place on 2nd and 1st strings respectively. One more time for cleanliness now. I'll count off the measure 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... That's the first note of measure 7. That same lick will occur at measure 10 on the line below. So let's try that lick again at measure 6. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... The next measure that could give you a little treble is measure 12. But if you know your E minor chord, it's just a matter of holding the E minor in place until the last 2 notes of measure 12 where you have a hammer-on 3rd string. So measure 12 is played as follows. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... I'll put that a little bit into context by backing up to measure 11, into measure 12, into the first note of measure 13. 13? New number. 13. So 11, 12, and 13 with a count off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now, measure 14. A tricky measure because of the index finger having to pick the 3rd string all of a sudden in the middle of the measure. The 4th note, that is, of measure 14. So it's a matter of fingering, I suppose, for this D chord measure. Although you're not playing a D chord, you're playing notes around the D chord. Here's measure 14 with a count off. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Let's put that into context by playing 13, 14, and the first note of measure 15. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, so here's the playthrough of entire page 105. I may as well take the repeats to keep you used to doing that for the up-and-coming duets section. There is one pickup note, so I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And that's your first note. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. And then it would jump into the high solo on the next page. And that's what we'll talk through on the next track.